Smoke rose from broken buildings in New Haven Colony. The air smelled like burning and dust. People ran, trying to find cover. Loud booms shook the ground as explosions hit the protective dome far above. Bright flashes lit up the darkening sky. Evelyn Shaw, the colony leader, pushed through the crowded medical tent. Her clothes were dirty, her face tired. People lay on the floor, hurt and crying. Doctors moved quickly, but there were too many hurt people. A young girl held her mother's hand, her eyes wide with fear. Evelyn felt a heavy weight in her chest. They were losing. She hurried into the communication room deep underground. Ben Carter, the colony's chief scientist, looked up from his screens. His eyes were worried. "Governor," he said, his voice rough. "The shield generators, they can't take much more. Maybe an hour. Less if they hit the main power again." Evelyn nodded. There was only one thing left to do. She sat down in front of the video screen. Ben prepared the message to send across the huge distance to Earth. He gave her a small nod. The recording light blinked on. Evelyn took a deep breath. "This is Governor Evelyn Shaw of the New Haven Colony." Her voice shook a little. "We are under attack. We are being bombed from above. Many people are dead. Many more are hurt. Our homes are broken. Our children are scared." She paused, fighting back tears. "We tried to fight. We tried to hide. But they are too strong. We cannot hold them back much longer." She leaned closer to the screen, her eyes pleading. "Please hear us. We are your children, out here in the dark. We need help. We need ships. We need soldiers. Please, send help before it is too late. Save us, please." She signaled Ben to stop. The light went off. She put her head in her hands for a moment. "Send it, Ben. Send it with everything we have left." Far away, in the empty blackness between stars, a large ship appeared. It didn't slide smoothly into view, it just was there, suddenly. It looked like a dark, sharp knife made of metal. Scratches and dents covered its sides, telling stories of old fights. This was the warship Retribution. Inside, Commander Ben Carter stood on the bridge. He was a hard man, his face showing little feeling. He watched Evelyn Shaw's message play on a screen. He watched her beg for help. He watched the fear in her eyes, watched it again and again. His face stayed like stone. Lena Petrov, the ship's top engineer, walked up to him. "Commander," she said, "engines are ready. Weapons are charged. The ship is prepared." Ben Carter didn't look away from Evelyn's face on the screen. "Good," he said, his voice flat. "Set the ship for battle. Full speed towards New Haven." He finally turned. His eyes were cold. No delays. Back on New Haven, Ben Carter, the scientist, worked frantically. Studied the signals and energy readings from the attacking ships above. His face went pale. "Governor," called out, his voice tight with shock. Evelyn rushed over. "What is it?" Ben pointed to his screen. "The attackers, ... their ships, their power signatures. It's not aliens, Evelyn. It's human. It's twisted, violent, but human." Evelyn stared, unable to speak. "Human. Other humans were doing this. Who? Why?" Before she could ask, alarm screamed on the Retribution. "Commander," a crew member shouted, "we are entering the New Haven star system. Sensors show the enemy fleet attacking the planet." On the main screen, the view changed. They saw the attackers. A messy group of warships, some looking patched together, firing down relentlessly at the green and blue world below. The colony's few defenses fired back weakly. Evelyn Shaw's voice, desperate and pleading, filled the bridge again from the recorded message. Ben Carter listened for a moment, then pressed a button, silencing her. He opened a channel that everyone in the system would hear. His voice cut through the noise of battle, cold and hard as space itself. "Attention, attacking fleet. This is Commander Ben Carter of the Earth warship Retribution. You are trespassers. You are murderers. You have been judged. Your punishment is death. Get ready." Silence followed the message. On New Haven, Evelyn Shaw felt ice form in her stomach. That voice, ... it didn't sound like help. It sounded like something else. Something dark. The huge warship Retribution turned towards the attackers, its weapons glowing. Help had come from Earth, but what arrived looked much more like vengeance than salvation. The cold voice from the Earth ship hung in the air. On the main ship of the attackers, a woman named Maya watched the screen. She called herself Queen. Her smile was sharp and cruel. She saw the retribution moving towards her fleet. Earth sends one old ship? She laughed. Leo, crush it. Show them our strength. Leo, her main captain, grinned. He loved fighting, yelled orders. The messy group of attacker ships turned their guns away from the planet below. Big weapons glowed red, pointing at the retribution. On the bridge of the retribution, Lena Petrov saw the weapons powering up. Commander, multiple targets locking on. Commander Carter didn't flinch. Hold course. Forward guns. Fire when ready. Point defenses. Active. His voice was calm like ice. The attacker ships fired first. Bright beams of light shot towards the retribution. But small, fast lasers on the Earth ship snapped out, cut the enemy beams apart before they could hit. It was like a shield made of light. Then, the retribution fired its big guns. 2 attacker ships exploded instantly. They broke apart like glass hit by a hammer. No warning, no chance. The retribution didn't slow down, flew straight into the middle of the enemy fleet like a shark among small fish. Its lasers kept flashing, they cut attacker ships open. Air rushed apart. Air rushed out into space. Engines blew up in silent fireballs. The retribution moved smoothly, firing again and again. It was fast and deadly. Each shot found its target. Lena worked hard at her station. Her hands flew over the controls. Direct hits, 2 more attackers destroyed. Shields holding strong. The ship shook slightly from near misses, but the powerful shields absorbed the hits. Down on New Haven, Governor Evelyn Shaw watched the battle on a shaky screen in the damaged comms room. Ben Carter stood beside her. They saw the flashes of light high above the planet. They saw attacker ships vanish from the screen one by one. They're winning, Ben said, his voice quiet. They're destroying them. Evelyn felt no relief. She saw the retribution's cold efficiency. It didn't try to protect New Haven, it just destroyed. But this isn't help, Ben, she whispered. But this looks like anger. She remembered Commander Carter's voice. Your punishment is death. She grabbed the cum. Commander Carter, this is Governor Shaw. Please stop. We need aid down here. People are hurt. The city is damaged. Carter's voice came back flat and hard. Stand by, Governor. We are dealing with the threat. Focus on shelter. The connection cut off. Suddenly, a huge flash erupted above. One of the larger attacker ships exploded violently. Pieces of burning metal flew outwards. Some pieces were big. They tumbled down, pulled by the planet's gravity. Debris field incoming. Ben yelled, pointing at his scanner. Big pieces. Trajectory towards the colony. Evelyn ran to the window. She saw streaks of fire appear in the sky. They were getting bigger. Falling stars made of broken ships. Take cover! She screamed into the colony's speakers. Everyone take cover now. It was too late for some. A large twisted piece of metal smashed into the edge of the biodome. The thick glass cracked like a spider web. Another chunk hit a storage building near the hospital. It exploded in a shower of sparks and smoke. People screamed. More dust filled the air. Evelyn crouched near the window, her heart pounding. She saw medics running towards the new destruction. She saw a man pulling a crying child from rubble near the broken storage building. The ground shook again from another impact far away. High above, the retribution kept fighting. It ignored the falling debris. It hunted the remaining attacker ships relentlessly. Lena saw the damage reports from the planet scroll on a small screen. She bit her lip but kept working. The mission was clear. Evelyn looked up at the flashes of battle through the cracked dome. The attackers were being destroyed. Yes, but pieces of their death were raining down on her people. The Earth ship was saving them by bringing a new kind of destruction. The feeling of hope was gone, replaced by cold fear. Salvation felt very far away. What had arrived felt much closer to revenge. The attack fleet was broken. Many ships were gone, blown apart by the Earth warship. The rest scattered like scared birds. On her main ship, Queen Maya watched the screen. Her sharp smile was gone. Her eyes were hard and angry. Leo stood beside her, breathing fast. They fight, ... They fight like nothing I've seen. He growled. Naya, didn't look away from the retribution. It was turning, searching for its next target. "They fight like us," she hissed. But blind, they only see revenge. A cold plan formed in her mind. "Leo, order the Scourge and the Raven. Tell them to run. Make it look real. Run towards the big rocks far away." She pointed towards the distant, cluttered asteroid field on the scanner. "Lower that big ship away from the planet." Leo understood. A nasty grin returned to his face. "Yes, my queen." On the bridge of the Retribution, Lena saw the movement. "Commander." Two medium attack ships breaking away, heading for the asteroid belt at high speed. Crew member added, "Sensors show heavy damage on both, sir. Looks like they're trying to escape." Commander Carter watched the fleeing ships. His face showed no feeling. "They want to run? We chase." His voice was flat. "Petrov, put all spare power to the engines and the front guns. We finish this. Now, set course to intercept." Lena hesitated for a fraction of a second. "Commander, the planet. New Haven needs help. In that asteroid field, it could be a trap." Carter didn't look at her. "The main threat is those ships. Governor Shaw can handle her people. Follow orders. Maximum speed." Down below, Evelyn Shaw felt the ground tremble less often. The big guns above had stopped pounding the dome, but the silence felt worse. Through the cracked window, she saw the bright flashes moving away, chasing towards the distant belt of space rocks. "They're leaving," she whispered. "They're chasing them away from us." Dr. Ben Carter wasn't watching the sky. He was hunched over his console, studying the energy readings from the Retribution. His face was white. "Evelyn," he said, his voice tight with fear. "Come here. Look at this." Evelyn hurried over. The screen showed complex waves and numbers that meant nothing to her. "What is it, Ben?" He pointed a shaky finger. "The power. It's the main gun on that Earth ship. It's not normal. It matches old, scary designs. Designs we banned. If he fires that weapon, even near the planet... Ben swallowed hard. The energy. It could crack the planet's crust, like stepping on thin ice. Even a near miss could cause quakes, ruin the atmosphere, kill everyone. Evelyn stared, horror flooding her. The ship sent to save them could destroy them just by fighting. "We have to warn him. Stop him." Ben shook his head, hopeless. "He won't listen. You heard him. He only sees the enemy." High above, the Retribution raced after the fleeing ships. It moved fast, like a hunter chasing wounded prey. It entered the asteroid field. Big rocks, some as large as mountains, floated in the dark. The two damaged ships weaved between them. Closing in, Lena reported, "Weapons ready. We fire when we have clear shots," Carter ordered. Suddenly, Lena's scanner screamed, "Energy spikes. Multiple sources, behind the big rocks." Her warning was cut off. Hidden ships, including Maya's main ship, shot out from behind huge asteroids. They were close. Very close. They fired everything they had straight at the Retribution. Bright light filled the bridge. The whole warship shook violently. Commander Carter was thrown from his chair, crashing to the floor. Alarms screamed everywhere. Red lights flashed. Sparks flew from broken panels. Lena held on tight. Direct hits. Front shields gone. Engine 2 damaged. Hull breaches on decks 3 and 5. Smoke started to fill the air. The Retribution was badly hurt. Maya's trap had worked. On the screen in Maya's ship, she saw the wounded Earth warship. Her cold smile returned. Leo cheered. The queen of the Marauders knew the fight had changed. The big hunter was now the prey. Smoke stung Lena's eyes. Alarms screamed. The bridge lights flickered. Commander Carter pulled himself up from the floor. Blood trickled down his temple. The Retribution groaned like a wounded animal. Maya's main ship appeared on the main screen, larger now, its weapons still glowing from the surprise attack. A sharp sound cut through the alarms. Communication request. Carter wiped blood from his eye and answered it. Maya's face filled the screen. She looked pleased, like a cat watching a trapped bird. "Commander Carter," she said, her voice smooth and cold. "The mighty hammer of Earth. You bleed after all. I offer you a choice. Surrender your ship. Join me. Together we can rule. Forget Earth's weak laws. Strength is the only rule. Serve me, and see the future we build. For a second, Carter didn't move. His eyes seemed to look through Maya, far away. Dia saw a memory, a burning colony world. Screams, a symbol painted on broken walls. Maya's symbol, Elysium Fields. Ceres Station, New Haven. The names echoed in his mind like funeral bells. He blinked. The memory vanished. Ash! His face hardened, colder than space. Maya Vance, he said, his voice low and rough. Queen of thieves and murderers, butcher of innocence. He listed the names of the places she had destroyed. You build nothing but graves. Earth didn't send a rescue mission. Earth sent me. And I bring only one thing. The end you earned. He didn't wait for her reply. Slammed his hand on the ship-wide comm. All hands. Brace for impact. This is it. He turned to Lena. His eyes held a terrible resolve. Override safety limits. Divert all power, including life support, to engines and forward shields. Aim us right at her bridge. Fire everything we have left until we hit. Lena stared. It was suicide. Commander... ... Do it. Carter roared. Now. Lena's hands flew. The Retribution, broken and burning, suddenly surged forward. Its remaining engines screamed, pushing it straight towards Maya's flagship like a giant spear. Every gun still working spat fire and energy at the enemy ship. On Maya's bridge, Leo saw the dying warship charging. Real fear crossed his face. He's crazy. Full reverse. Evade, evade, he yelled. Maya's smile vanished. Shoot it down. All guns. Stop it, she shrieked. It was too late. The Retribution, pouring out its final fury, ignored the hits tearing into its sides. It closed the distance impossibly fast. Its battered front slammed directly into the bridge section of Maya's ship. The crash was silent in space, but the explosion wasn't. A massive fireball erupted where the two ships met. Metal twisted and melted. Maya's flagship shuddered violently, breaking apart. But Carter wasn't done. As the ships collided, he pushed one last button on his command chair. It glowed red. Core overload... Initiated. A computer voice announced calmly. Contain it, here Carter whispered, looking at the swirling asteroids around the doomed ships, not the planet. Deep inside the Retribution, its powerful engine core, pushed far beyond its limits, lost control. The unstable energy couldn't be held. It burst outwards in a wave of pure destruction, centered on the wreckage of the two ships. A new sun was born in the darkness of the asteroid field, bloomed with terrifying speed and brightness. Swallowing the shattered remains of the Retribution and Maya's flagship, it consumed Leo, Maya, and the nearby attacker ships caught in the open. The intense light washed over the floating rocks, turning them instantly to vapor or molten slag. The shock wave ripped outwards, shaking the entire field. On New Haven, the night sky suddenly turned bright as day. A second, fierce sun burned far above the horizon, impossibly bright and white. It lasted only a few seconds before fading, leaving a strange glowing cloud where the explosion happened. The light was so intense, people shielded their eyes. The ground trembled slightly, a distant echo of the fury in space. Then silence. The flashes of battle were gone. The sky was dark again, except for the fading glow and the slow drift of new debris. The Queen and her hunters and the Earth ships sent to kill them were gone. The blinding light in the sky faded. Darkness returned, but it was a different darkness. Silent, empty. The constant booms and flashes from the battle were gone. On New Haven, people slowly came out from cover. They looked up. The stars seemed very far away. Bits of glowing wreckage drifted slowly down through the atmosphere, like dying fireflies. The giant explosion had left a strange, fading cloud far out in space. Governor Evelyn Shaw stood in the ruins near the broken comms room. The air was cold and smelled of smoke and burned metal. She felt numb. The attackers were destroyed. The Earth ship was gone. They were saved. But the word felt wrong, hollow. She looked at the scared, tired faces around her. There were no cheers, no shouts of joy, only silence, heavy and deep. People hugged each other, not with happiness, but with relief mixed with shock. The cost was everywhere. Broken buildings, injured people, the the quiet sobs of loss. Evelyn walked slowly back into the comms room. Ben Carter was still at his console. He looked exhausted, his face pale. The screen showed the emptiness where the battle had raged, now filled only with debris and the fading energy cloud. Gone. Evelyn nodded. She sat down heavily in front of the comm unit. She had to tell Earth. Her hand shook as she pressed the button to record. Her voice sounded rough, scraped raw by dust and tears. Earth Command, she began. This is Governor Evelyn Shaw of New Haven. She took a shaky breath. The enemy fleet, the one called Iron Fist, is destroyed. Completely. Commander Carter's ship, the Retribution, it's gone too. They destroyed each other. She paused, the silence stretching. The threat is over. We are ... safe. The word safe tasted like ash in her mouth. She looked out the cracked window at the scarred land, the damaged dome, her people moving like ghosts in the dim light. You sent help, she continued, her voice tightening. But it wasn't rescue you sent. When we begged for salvation, ... you sent vengeance. The memory of the Retribution's brutal attack, the falling debris, the final terrible explosion filled her mind. It worked. The enemy is dead, but the cost ... Her voice broke. The cost is written on our broken home. It's written in the lives lost under the falling wreckage of your justice. It's written in the void, where Commander Carter and his enemy died together. She stared straight ahead, her eyes haunted. What does this make us, Earth? What have we become, that we answer cries for help with ... that. She gestured vaguely upwards towards the space where the explosion had bloomed. Who saves us ... From ourselves, her question hung in the still air of the comms room. She ended the transmission. The silence pressed in, thick and suffocating. Ben came and stood beside her. Together, they looked out at the night sky. The strange cloud from the explosion was still faintly visible, a pale sneer against the stars. Below it, countless new pieces of debris caught the distant sun's light, glinting like cold, dead jewels as they slowly fell. They called Maya a monster, Ben said softly, his voice tired, and Earth ... sent Carter. A bigger monster. He knew what he was doing. He became the vengeance. Evelyn didn't answer right away. She watched the silent dance of destruction's aftermath in the sky. The terrifying light of vengeance had faded, leaving only darkness, silence, and ruin. The help they needed had arrived as a terrifying force of retribution. It had saved their lives, perhaps, but at a terrible price. It left them not with hope, but with a deep, cold fear, and a question that echoed in the emptiness. Was this the only answer humanity had? The title echoed in her mind. They called for help. But what came from Earth was vengeance, not salvation. And now, only ashes and silence remained.